Hello everyone, this is LW Gaming and welcome to a brand new installment of Future Langrisser. Today's installment is December 23rd, 2024 edition. By the time I'm recording, today is the 18th of December, so I'm recording this early in advance. Well, it's for the channel members. And to those who isn't part of the channel member, you can watch this on the actual time. So no worry, you're not missing out on anything. It's just that those who are channel members gets to watch this first, which is a perk for those of you who are subscribed to it. But anyways, three new characters, or three new heroes to be exact, from Dead or Alive 6 to be specific. Well, I just usually call it Dead or Alive because that's what many people call it as. Anyways, these three are coming to the game of Langrisser, or Elsalia, as what the game setting is in. So, yep, these three characters are going to be a well anticipated additions. Some people like them, while some people may not like them. Well, I gotta say, it's pretty popular in the West, as far as I've heard. And let's talk about what these characters are. Although I believe, as far as I heard about their life series, this game is like I would say it's not like anime like kind of style, but it's more like it's like a fighting genre, of course, but kind of similar to like the Street Fighter or something like that. I think it might be that, but it could be a bit different. But anyways, let me know in the comments. So because I honestly am not familiar with this series, but I know that it is from Koei Tecmo, but haven't seen the gameplay of it, so I won't say for sure if this is like a Street Fighter like game or I don't know. So anyways, moving on to the next part, which to talk about what those three characters are. So these are the three characters that we're expecting. So, the first song we got Neo Tengu. Yes, I did research her pronunciation, and this is actually her pronunciation for the name. So Neo Tengu is one of the three characters that's going to be added to the game as the collaboration with Dale Alive. And the class she comes with is only one class, and that is Flyer. So think of this like Guyver, but with the DOA twist. So yeah, basically these three characters are all going to have one class. So that means you do not need runestones to invest their class, their whole kit, because all of them are going to be having one class, which is pretty nice. Which means that no need to use your runestones for these guys. For these ladies, I mean. Anyways, the role for Neo Tengu is a physical DPS, and she will heal after using skills, which is interesting. And I only say it briefly because I don't want to say all their stuff that they have in this video. Usually, I don't say this kind of stuff in the CN version of this, but anyways, I'm gonna explain what these are. So Neo Tengu is a banner unit, so you're gonna have to summon for her if you want to get her abilities or whatever. And the factions. She's part of Strategic Masters, Mythical Realm, and Heroes of Time. Like all the collabs that we had so far, is Heroes of Time is always part of that. And there are some exceptions though, because there's some Langrisser OC characters end up being Heroes of Time themselves, like Angelica, AO, and also Ice Abyss. So yeah, you could say it is mostly for collabs, but sometimes the original OC do in fact become part of that faction, which is a bit interesting, but not really the collabs themselves though. Although they share something in common. Angelica is a permanent unit that you can get at any time, but for AO and Ice Abyss, these two are limited time, so I guess that makes sense, I guess, in some ways. And then the second character that we'll be getting within the DOA collab is Marie Rose. And she is another character with the one class, and her case is infantry. And just like Neo Tengu, she's physical DPS as well. And she has a potential 5 act against. Yeah, you heard that right. She has 5 act against potential, which is insane if you think about it. Like if you meet Thunder condition, I think you'll be able to perform act again 5 times, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. So Marie Rose could probably break the game if you think about this. Like 5 act against, if all that is met, then yeah, Marie Rose is going ham on everyone. Well, it mostly depends who she's fighting because obviously she really can't kill all the units that she fight because since she's infantry, that means she is really weak against the units that are on horse or cavalry. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those if you're going rampaging. And then for factions, actually wait, yeah, and then for factions, she's part of a Princess Alliance, Meteor Strike, and Heroes of Time. And just like Neo Tengu, she is a banner unit as well. So you're gonna need a summon for Mary Rose if you want to take advantage of her multi-act again potential, which is interesting to have. I don't think we have any other character that does that like that has 5 act agains. Like honestly, this is crazy, really crazy. And finally, the third character getting added to the game as DOA collab is Kasumi, the protagonist herself, the protagonist of the series of DOA. And her class, initially I thought she was going to be infantry, but nope, they gave her assassin, which it is interesting because for one, although it kind of makes sense because she does carry a blade that looks like assassin like, but she's usually holding a katana as far as I've heard, but I would not expect her to be assassin like that, to be like that here. But however, there's one perk that the assassin has is that they do attack from 2 blocks, which is pretty nice. And Kasumi, her case is very different because since, like I said earlier, she does wield katana. This also means that she's going to ignore melee damage penalty. Yep, you heard it right. So Kasumi is another one of those characters with like a negation of the melee damage penalty, which is pretty nice. Like kind of like Tiana in some ways. Plus other characters like I believe lost them as well. Yeah, there are other characters in the game that we have that has like a melee damage penalty ignore or whatever that was. Yeah, having that on Kasumi is actually a nice thing to have. And just like the other 2 characters we mentioned, she's a physical DPS. So we don't have any magic DPS in this lineup, which makes sense because I think in the original game, these 3 characters don't utilize magic, so it makes sense for them to have physical attacks instead. And Kasumi, despite being a free unit, she has something that is really something you should look after because her despite being free, she can inflict debuffs that can negate the enemy's guard. Yes, you heard it right. There's a debuff that can now neutralize the guard effect. But however, this can be prevented if you can like have a character with gospel or anybody that can negate that debuff. But as soon as you have that debuff, you cannot get rid of it. You're going to have to sit there unguarded for 2 turns, as far as I've seen in the Kazumi's kit. So yeah, if you ever fight against Kazumi, be prepared to have someone that can resist the debuff. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a tank that's not going to be helpful for you. And for factions, she's part protagonist, Meteor Strike, and Heroes of Time. So I gotta say, what do I think about these 3 units? I would say these are well welcome additions. They're pretty strong in their own ways. Even for Kasumi, like who is free, like she's absolutely something you should not miss out on. Although I did hear a lot of people say they want to skip the collab banners, which honestly, those people who are trying to skip on this, ooh, they're gonna miss out a lot of things with those 3. Like I'm just saying, if you want to have something that's actually well worth your while, I would say pick these up. Like why not? Because these guys are, I mean, these ladies are pretty strong in their own ways. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the new casting pattern skills coming along. Just like the last update, they introduced two casting skills this time around, but now we're getting 2 more. These 2 are interesting ones because Saint Tales of the Ark. I know Moondoggy liked this one, but as of recently, I feel a bit saddened because in case you guys haven't heard, Moondoggy unfortunately decided to quit Langrisser, which honestly, it was expected. But like ever since the update of Enya, like Enya was rolled out, a lot of people unfortunately had to quit the game, which is pretty bad. Like pretty bad for Zlong, of course. Yeah, I remember last time when we lost Freed. That was like when he's enchanting certain gear, and then he got onto a breaking point where he wanted to quit. And now we have I mean that, and then before Free quit, Loomis did end up quitting because like he's been playing the game for a long time and he wanted to find a place to stop, which I couldn't blame him. But anyways, and now Moondoggy end up leaving. Well, maybe partially leaving, but yeah, it's just not a good look for Zlong Games. honestly. So, anyways, I'm going off topic. So I'm gonna go back to where I'm trying to say. So the sentence of the arc new casting is int plus 10% after using light conversion skill can move 2 more blocks and attack again. And I gotta say, this addition is actually pretty nice for it because now after using that light conversions, you're no longer a sitting duck. So yeah, after you use the skill, you can move 2 more like 2 more blocks, and then you can attack again after this, which is nice. So now that basically means the conversion skill can now be treated as a self act again, just like most other skills that does as well. And the second casting we got is Van Arkwright, or known as just Van in the game. I like to call him Van Arkwright because that's his full name. Attack and defense plus 5%. The chain strike's duration is increased by 1. When chain strikes is cast on an enemy, there's a 50% chance to cast an additional stack of chain strikes. Yeah, and I gotta say that this is pretty nasty if you think about it. Although despite being a free character like Van, despite being a free character, having this activated is pretty nuts. Although I hardly use Van nowadays, but having this is pretty nice. Okay, next we're gonna move on to the next part, which is a new exclusive equipment. This time around, this goes to Tiana, and she has headwear. She has a new headwear as an exclusive. HP plus 10%. When Tiana is entering combat instead of an ally with a protect buff, Tiana gains the preemptive blade strike effect for 2 turns, which is nice. So as long as you have Tiana attacking for you, like during your phase, like this is what it is. She'll get the preemptive blade strike effect, which is pretty nice. And when an enemy with a solo striker effect dies, inflicts the solo striker effect to a random enemy within 2 blocks of the defeated enemy. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward. So yeah, Tiana's headwear enables her to get the preemptive blade strike immediately if you let Tiana attack while using ally that has protect. Like, and this could work within 3 blocks of her, of course. So yeah, if you have Tiana on the team like lately, Tiana's gonna like this. And also on top of that, the solo striker effect, if the enemy with that would have died by her or anything, actually yeah, it should be her. Another solo striker effect will be applied to a random enemy within 2 blocks of the defeated enemy, which honestly it is pretty nasty if you think about it because Tiana is going to assassinate these characters relatively fast, which is nuts. So if you ever see Tiana, watch out for her. But of course, not yet for global. But in the near future, you're gonna need to watch out for solo striker effects because these ones are no joke. Because if you get hit by this debuff, say goodbye to your hero because that hero is going to die instantly. The soldiers won't save the character at all. And finally, additional information. I'm gonna cover mostly for banners. So, anyways, there are going to be a rate up banner for Nomi and Lightbringer if the CN leak was actually correct about this, because sometimes they might end up giving me false information or whatever. But I gotta check to make sure, and I think these are all right. Tiana and Santos of the Ark are also part of the rate up as well. We also have the Dark Reincarnation Destiny banner for Transcender, Leobeg, and Poliol. We also have a Mythical Realm Destiny banner for Rosenseal, Tyrantel, and Isolde. The Classic Destiny banner for Landius, Eula, and Jugler. The classic banner shown in the CN League is actually incorrect. That one was showing the image of the previous CN update. So yeah, this update I'm pretty sure we're getting Landius, Eula, and Jugler. Not Rachel, Lana, and Tiaris. Those ones are the last major updates cycle. So I think this time we should be getting Landius, Eula, and Jugler if the pattern is correct. And of course, we have Divine Awesome Equipment banner, which was I don't know, it might not be there, but at the same time, it could be. But we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled to see if it's there. If not, I'll just inform you all through the comment section, pinned comment, of course. So, anyways, that's about it for this video. So, hope y'all find this video informative, and I'll see you all next time.